I'm filming my daily Devo from Osaka, Japan. And for those who may not be aware, I'm stuck over here in Japan because I had a detached retina. Last week, on Friday, my assignment was John chapter 9 about a blind man. And then the very next day, I had a detached retina and had to have emergency surgery in Japan to make sure I did not lose my eyesight. So I don't know if I should be nervous that this week my chapter is in John chapter 14 about going to heaven. Hopefully after I film this, I don't end up going to heaven the next day. But I'm prepared. And when you look at this familiar passage, it will prepare you as well. Thank you, so many of you who've been praying for me since I've been in Japan, stuck in Japan because I cannot travel. Going to see the eye doctor every day. And when the surgeon says, still attached, those have become my favorite two words, that my retina is still attached. I'm on a massage table. In case you wondered if Amazon Prime delivers to Japan, yes, they do. Part of the healing is being flat on my face with my head slightly angled to make sure that the gas that they surgically implanted in my eye holds the retina in place. But you don't need to know about any of that. As I do this selfie, let's talk about John chapter 14. In my Father's house are many mansions. If it were not so, I would have told you, for I go to prepare a place for you. Or so it reads in the King James. Many mansions. And I've heard over the years so many Christians talk about how excited they will be to upgrade from their home on earth to a gigantic mansion in heaven. And I picture something from the Beverly Hillbillies, right? Well, the only problem with that is the Greek word that the King James translates as mansions is the word mone. Mone. It literally means dwelling place. Mansion is not the best translation. Maybe it fit in the year 1611 when the King James was translated, but not today. The New American Standard says many dwelling places. The NIV says many rooms. The best way to read it is, in my Father's house are many rooms, many dwelling places. I go to prepare a place for you. Let me tell you why that's better than getting your own personal Beverly Hills mansion on the streets of gold. In the time of Jesus, a man would be in love. He would become engaged, betrothed. He would tell his fiancée, I go to prepare a place for you. He would. He'd go to his father's house and he would build on. He would build on an additional room attached to the father's house. And when it was ready, what would he do? He would go back and he would get his bride. And in a very romantic way, the two would be married and then they would live together in the father's house. And so the picture that Jesus gives of heaven is, and don't get hung up on how big is this mansion in heaven, how many rooms are there? The picture is not of a mansion, the picture is of fellowship. The reason it's more encouraging to me than having my own personal 20,000 square foot home is because it talks about being with the Father. What makes heaven heavenly is we're with the Father. We're with the Son. It's being together with the God who made you and loves you and died for you, who created you, and being reunited with people that you love. That's heaven. It's not about some big mansion edifice. It's about relationships. And I can tell you this much, as I'm stuck in a hotel room, looking through this all day long, I miss my family. I miss Huntsville. I miss Alabama. I miss you. And more than anything, I just want to be with my family. And that's what heaven's going to be. Heaven is going to be reunited with people that you love who got there first. Heaven's going to be beholding Jesus face to face. So I kind of like that better than a mansion. And Thomas wanted to know how to get there, and Jesus told him, I am the way, the truth, and the life. No one comes to the Father except by me. Yeah, usually hundreds of people watch these devos, and I noticed last week thousands watched. So if you, and I get it, the circumstances are unique with what I'm going through, but if you're one of the thousands and you don't know how to get to heaven, Jesus said, I'm the way, the truth, the life. Come to Christ, and you too could have a heavenly home in his presence one day. Until then, we'll keep loving on each other and praying for one another. And I thank you. From the bottom of my heart, I thank you that you've been praying for me.